Hey everybody, in my workout yesterday I was doing a lot of hybrid exercises, which is when you combine two different exercises into one movement. And I decided why not set up my camera, grab some footage, and I can show you guys some example hybrid exercises you can start incorporating into your workouts. So first let's start off with push-up to side plank. This is a pretty common exercise where you do a push-up and then you turn into a side plank by raising one arm. Then you do another push-up and turn and raise the other arm into a side plank. This exercise is great if you want to work your core, specifically the obliques, while also working your pushing muscles like your chest, triceps, and shoulders. When you do these, I recommend pausing briefly when you turn into the side plank, stabilizing there and just getting a good feel like you've locked in that side plank. That'll really help build up the straight arm strength and work your core, which is a huge benefit of this exercise. Next, we'll look at dip to L-sit, and this is exactly what it sounds like. You're going to get on parallel bars, get into a support hold, go ahead and do a dip, and then at the top of the dip, come up into an L-sit. Combining these two exercises into one movement is great because it really works your upper body from the dip, but also the core, specifically your hip flexors, when you're working on the L-sit portion. If you want, you can pause in the L-sit to really emphasize that part of the movement, or you can do what I'm doing here and just sort of kicking out and then going right back to the dip. Either way, this is a great hybrid exercise and it really builds your abs while you're doing dips. Alright, the lizard crawl. This is one of my favorites. So what do you get when you combine explosive staggered push-ups with another push-up called the Spider-Man push-up? The answer is you get an amazing hybrid exercise that's known as the lizard crawl. You crawl in a staggered position, bringing your knee to the elbow of the arm that's furthest back. You can crawl forward or you can crawl backwards. And if you have a lot of space, like I do here, it's fun to do relays where you lizard crawl across the entire room and then turn around and lizard crawl all the way back. Alright, squat to plank is a simple mobility exercise that I highly recommend. You stand with your feet about shoulder width apart, lower down into a squat, place your hands flat on the floor, and then kick out into a plank, kick back into a squat, and stand up. This is actually a beginner burpee variation that I call baby burpees, but I love using it as a simple hybrid exercise because it's great for squat mobility. Alright, if you watch carefully here, when I lower down into the squat, I go slow and I place my hands flat on the floor. I'm going into a deep squat, and the plank is there just as an extra bonus to work your core, but really my favorite part of this exercise is how it really deepens your squat flexibility and improves that. So if you're struggling with your squats, work on this move for sure. L-sit pull-ups, one of the most simple yet impressive hybrid exercises. Alright, come up into a hanging L-sit, hold it, and do a pull-up. As simple as it is, this is a pretty challenging pull-up variation. Alright, so you want to make sure you have a solid L-sit when you're hanging from a bar before you start working on these. The main advantage to this pull-up variation is that you're tightening your hip flexors and keeping those contracted the entire time, so it's a great core workout, and it just looks really impressive. L-sit to inverted hang. Alright, this one's challenging but useful. Start off in an L-sit, hanging from parallel bars or straight bar, lean back and then extend at the hips so your body's straight. Notice that when I do this, I lean back, extend at the hips, I'm diagonal. I'm not in a straight up and down inverted hang, alright? The reason why I recommend being slightly diagonal is that's going to translate to the front lever. So if you plan on learning the front lever in the future, this will really help with that. Once you get the hang of these, you're going to find that that diagonal position, when you extend right there, that is total body tension that's going to translate to many other exercises like the front lever and handstand. Okay, archers and typewriters, another one of my favorites. So it's really fun to combine these exercises. You have typewriter push-ups, which is where you just go back and forth, keeping low to the ground. And then you also have archers, which is when you press up diagonally, like that. So when you combine the two, and in any order you want, it starts to look like a sort of push-up dance, and you just go back and forth, up and down. You have fun with it. So if you haven't learned archers yet, I have an entire tutorial video on that. I highly suggest you check it out and start messing around with these. It's a great chest workout. Pike to plank is another great hybrid exercise that's awesome for flexibility and mobility. So start off in a plank position and then walk your hands back and pike the hips up. Try to walk the hands all the way back and touch your toes, then walk back out to the plank. Pause momentarily in the plank, squeeze the core, and then repeat. This exercise is great if you have tight hamstrings and want to improve your hamstring flexibility, or if you want to improve your core compression for exercises like the L-sit. At first, you might not be able to walk your hands all the way back to your toes, and that's fine. Just walk them back as far as you comfortably can, and then keep this in your workouts consistently. You'll notice that quite quickly you'll improve your range of motion and improve your mobility. Okay, L-sit to leg raise. This one is a lot more challenging than it looks. So you're going to start off hanging from a bar, get into a hanging L-sit, do a leg raise, but only come down halfway. Alright, so you think since you're not doing the full range of motion that this is easier, but no, this is actually a lot harder. Stopping sort of in the middle makes it a much more challenging exercise on your core. And lastly, tucked front lever pull-ups. So what you're going to do is get into a tucked front lever hanging from a bar, but instead of just holding it isometrically, go ahead and pull your shoulder blades together and bend at the elbows to do a pull-up. You want to try to pull up till your knees touch the bar. This is a really subtle movement, but because all of your weight is tucked up, it really puts a lot of emphasis on your rhomboids, which are the muscles around your shoulder blades. Alright, so those are 10 different hybrid calisthenics exercises you can start incorporating into your workouts, right? And those are the ones I picked are, I think, really good for beginners who are looking to start branching out into more intermediate exercises, alright? So keep that in mind. If you're just starting out, those are probably too hard, but if you're starting to branch out beyond beginner, then they're a good choice. Please give this video a like if you found it helpful, if you're going to incorporate any of the exercises I showed you, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll put a button right there. Alright, my channel is all about calisthenics, home-based fitness, and good, healthy, plant-based nutrition. Alright then, have fun with those hybrid exercises, and I'll talk to you soon.